So when you address a group of people, you would have two different kinds of brain operating in your audience. How many kinds of brains operating in the room? Two kinds, okay, excellent. You have something called left brain people, which are maybe in majority, especially if you're an Asian audience. You know, they are rational people, they are logical people. They want numbers, they want percentage, they want to understand, you know, logically, what is that you have done, what is that you can make me do, then they will make a decision to learn and listen from you. You must speak to that kind of brain, and that could be 70% of the room or even 75. But you should not forget about that 20% people in the room. It doesn't matter to them. They're not unhappy that you live in $1 million house, Amandeep. You know, they're happy about that. But for them to be shaken up, for them to be learning from you, to go on a journey with you, you need to bring your colorful life, which is your emotional journey, your pain, struggle, challenges you have gone through, and how did you overcome it so that they can go on a journey with you. So they are the people who maybe light relics. They are the people maybe who do painting. You know, they are the people maybe who have designed something like Disney World. It doesn't mean, you know, that they just keep throwing their money away. They don't understand numbers. They do, but they are triggered and moved by your authentic emotional journey. So again, coming back, left brain and right brain. Your job is to do the languaging, the positioning in such a way that you win over the logical people, and then you also win over like emotional people, the colorful people, you know, with the right brain, you know, kind of orientation. So this is what I get, you know, from people. Few thousand words, all justifies, you know, written in ways that sometimes, you know, you go like, how do I design a story for a normal eyes, you know? But I take that, I churn it out, and I put it in a very powerful way that it becomes a great story for them. So they've done a research called significant object study. You can do your own research when you go, you know, out later in the Google. They bought 100 objects around $1 each, which was a total investment of $129. And what they did, they put a story around that object. The same object with a story became special for people. So when they put that $1 object back on the internet for selling, they sold it for $50, $60. And they raised $8,000 by just putting stories around objects. It was just a like common object. When you put a great story, you know, it became a very special, you know, product or service or whatever that is, you know, from having for people. If you look at the percentage, it is 6,000% in increase. So can you imagine if we put a great story around for the life you've lived, and if your income can be scaled up by just 10%, let's say minimum, how much that will become, you know, for you every single month. And it's not like, you know, it's not only 10%, by the way. We have people who have doubled their salary in just 8 months. Because now when my students, they walk into an interview, they don't just talk in facts and figures, which most people do. You know, there's a common question, if you go for an interview, depending on what interview you're doing, they ask you the question like, you know, tell me a situation when you showed your leadership qualities. It's a very common question, you would say, in quite a scenario they ask. So what most people say or share, I'm a people person, I like to work with people, I go, you know, beyond my, you know, whatever normal timing to help others, which is rataya, and they have heard it many times. They're not paying attention. They go like, yeah, we have heard this many times. Now let me tell you how my students do it. Would you like to know? Yeah. This is how my students start. They go like, it was 23rd of January. It was a chilled, cold morning. It was a very foggy day and it was a Sunday. I woke up with 14 missed calls on my mobile screen. My team leader was calling me endlessly. I called him back. How many of you are intrigued? You want to know more what happened? Well, I'm not going into the story, you know. Yeah, he just went and did a backup for his leader because the leader was in some family emergency and he showed his leadership qualities. It's not guaranteed, but the chances of you getting picked up is much higher because you know what? Stories, they bind and connect us.